Kevin Lawrence here again. Today I want to share with you some ideas about doubling your capability and the capability of your people. And it's a really interesting topic and something that really has me think a lot about how as leaders can we become much more effective ourselves. And I've got a great model I'll share with you to help you with this. So a quote that you may have heard me share before is, the job of a leader is to create leaders. And if you're not leaving a trail of leaders, then you're a follower. And I'll give you some more ideas here on how you can actually leave a better trail today. About 6 months ago, I heard this man, Ram Charan, speak. He's author of the book Execution and lots of other books. And as he was talking to his group of CEOs and executives, he shared with the group, he said, it's great to have your plans of how you're going to move your business ahead in the next 3 to 5 years. But he goes, don't forget the critical piece. In that same time frame, you need to move ahead dramatically yourself, and you need to notably increase your own capability. Doubling your capability is what I kind of came away with as the mantra for this. We need to double our capability in the next 3 to 5 years if we're going to, in essence, double our business. Otherwise, how can you lead a business when you're less capable than the actual business requires? So there's this great model that a head of HR at a client of mine shared with me that kind of inspired the thinking here of how do you double your capability? Because that sounds big, onerous, and almost scary for some people. Truth of it is, you have actually more than doubled your capability from the time you were born until the time you finished your education, probably quadrupled your capability, if not more. And the best leaders continue to grow and double their capability every 3 to 5 years as they move forward. So there's this great model I'll share with you, as you can see on the screen here, it's a combination of what you know, who you know, and this thing called emotional fortitude, which is a phrase that Ram Charan also shared, and I just loved it. And then the middle of that, if you improve dramatically what you know, improve what you know by 20 or 30%. You improve your network and who you know by 20 or 30%. And you work on your emotional fortitude, by default you're going to double your capability if you improve in all those 3 areas. The problem is, for most executives, the what you know part, sometimes we're not as good as learning outside of the day-to-day. The who you know, some people are really good at networking, some aren't. The part where most executives, and where I spend a lot of my time, is on the emotional fortitude, which is working on your own behaviors, your own beliefs, and evolving yourself as a person. Now that's the area people don't work on as much because it's challenging, and really a lot of us don't like looking in the mirror. And if you're doing it for the first time, it's kind of scary, especially when you start to work on the things that make you tick and the behaviors that may make you perform or get in your way. That's why things like 360 feedback and that is a very powerful exercise, but yet something people tend to put off or avoid if they can. So the idea is, if you focus on each of those 3 areas, you can really improve your abilities and double your capability. The next thing on is I want to focus on that circle around what you know. You know, I'm a big believer in learning, and I've shared with some of you in the past, you know, I do not love to read books. I'm the type of person where reading a book is work. It's not pleasure for me. Some people love to sit on a couch and have a cup of tea and read a book. That's not me. I do it because it's a requirement for me to be the best at what I do. So it was interesting, a few years ago, I heard a stat from the author of Top Grading, Brad Smart, and he talked about statistics that he had studied A players, the highest performing C-level executives in corporate America. And he said they all had one thing common in terms of their reading habits. One of the things is they read, scanned trade publications. They read one key section of the newspaper every day and a lot of other things. But there was a habit around reading books that got my attention, and it was the number of books they read every year. Hold on to your hat. The number of books that the top performing, busiest executives read per year was 24. I've got to tell you, when I heard that number, I was shocked. Where they get the time from, I couldn't imagine. And at that time, I was not reading 24 books a year. Since I heard that stat and decided I wanted to be the best at what I do, and if that's what the best do, that's what I'm going to do, I found a way to do it. And I thank Mr. Steve Jobs and his invention called iTunes, because most of the best books out there are available on audio. I'm a person that loves to listen to those books when I travel, and it works real well for me. Some people cannot retain by doing that, so they need to read. Doesn't matter how you do it. Point is, if the best read 24 books a year and you want to be the best, that's probably a good idea. Interestingly, is they read 12 business, 12 personal books. And my belief is, if you just read business books, you're going to turn into a weird business robot, and growing on the personal side and studying things personally, whether it's psychology or a habit you have, Those things really help with the emotional fortitude piece of that 2X model I shared. So on the screen, you've seen some of my favorite books. There's lots there. You can pick the ones that are your most important books, but those are my favorites. If you want a list of my top 12 books that you must read, you can just email me and we'll send you a copy. So if the top people in the world do 24 books a year, that might be a big stretch for you. So what I do with all the companies that I work with is that we work on doing at least 4. Every quarter we read a different book and we talk about it as an executive team. That's the tool or the mechanism I use to bring that to life. So the summary thought here for you is, in terms of doubling capability, what is it that you're going to do to double your capability? Is it around your network? Is it around more learning? Is it around emotional fortitude and working on some of the behaviors that limit you and hold you back? That's up to you, but my challenge is to figure out what is your plan to double your capability and do the same for the people that you're mentoring. Pick 2 or 3 people that you're helping to grow and get them to work on their own 2X plan as well.